I fear no man, but that thing, it scares me.
The painted deck gives you a starting hand size of 10 at the cost of one of your joker slots. Undervaluing hand size in this game can be dangerous, in that I will pose a danger to you, I will find you. A hand size of 10 in particular is incredibly impactful to your mindset when picking hands and discards, and comes with a number of benefits. Most obviously, you're able to hold on to an entire 5-card hand while cycling through 5 more from your deck. This vastly increases your ability to find specific cards you're looking for. It means more enhancements, more seals, and more higher tiered hands. Say you have a straight in your opening hand that's going to one-shot the blind. You could just play it and win, moving on to the next shop and collecting the remaining 3 hands as money. But you have gold cards in your deck because you're cool and you like gold cards. On another deck with a hand size of 8, you can cycle through either by dumping garbage hands or discarding 3 cards at a time while still holding on to that straight. Assuming 4 hands and 2 discards on blue stake and above, you get 5 opportunities to dig through your deck. Cycling through 3 cards at a time gives you 15 chances to find your enhancements and seals. In the same situation on the painted deck, you're cycling through 25 cards where another deck would see only 15. Now, you won't always need to hold on to an entire 5 cards. If you haven't assembled the hand yet or you're playing pair or something, you can still cycle through more than 15 with a smaller hand size. And yeah, this is one of the myriad reasons why high card and pair are some of the most reliable builds for gold stake. You're able to get the cards you need more when you can cycle through more of them. The painted deck affords this luxury to the player's 5-card hands as well. This is one of the best decks to go for harder to assemble hands that don't require deck fixing. But the strength of this deck isn't as simple as good for 5-card hands. That's merely a symptom of the deck's strength. Put simply, the painted deck weakens the impact your jokers can have in exchange for empowering the hand. The cards in your hand, the hand being scored, the hand. Not by facilitating deck fixing, it accomplishes this just by showing you more cards. It sounds kinda silly saying it out loud, but over the course of an entire game, these additional instances of seeing cards add up to you getting way more value out of your playing cards themselves than is usually possible with a smaller hand size. Take a look at this. Take it all in. This right here is peak painted performance. You're not always gonna rip a burnt Joker and negative spaceman anti-one, but I sure as hell did. I'll get back to burnt Joker specifically in a bit, but I want this to highlight the power of hand levels, not just for straights. If you can consistently level up a particular hand, those chips add up very quickly. This scoring from the hand is why blue seals are so strong, and why it's almost always worth it to dig for them aggressively. Hand levels are extra important on this deck because if, for example, the played hand is giving hundreds of chips, you probably don't have much need for a chip dingus. That's one less thing your more limited joker slots need to worry about, so you can use them for times mult or utility or showman. But what good is a level 40 straight if you can never play them? Straights can be a little unintuitive to try and go for, provided you don't have a shortcut or the 4 fingers? You know what I'm talking about. The playstyle is not locked behind finding one of these early, though. We can up our odds of assembling straights with the power of math. Let's take a look at this 8-card hand. What's the play here? I've leveled up straights a couple times, that's clearly my goal. I have a pretty convincing 9 to king straight here, so keep 4, discard 4, go for the jack. This is hope Balatro. In this situation, I'm keeping 3, discarding 5, and here's why. My terminology might not be great here, but that 4, 5, 6 is what I believe is called an open straight, and that is the foundation of what you're looking for. An open straight is a run of at least 3 cards from which you could build a straight in either direction. Both sides are open to having cards added to them. This is opposed to our 9 to king with a jack hole in it. Let's break down the 2 options to see why one is preferable. In situation A, I'm both keeping and drawing 4 cards. That's 4 chances to hit what I need, times however many times I can cycle. But what I need to complete the straight is precisely a jack, or, drawing 3 adjacent sequential cards, which is a low enough chance that it shouldn't be relied on. In situation B, I'm holding on to 3 cards and drawing 5 cards. There's 5 chances per cycle, but what do I need? Yes, I'm missing 2 cards from the straight as opposed to 1, but those 2 cards could be an 8, a 7, 3, or a 2 in a variety of combinations, and all complete the straight. I won't get into the actual numbers because I would be lying if I said I cared, but the gist gist is situation B is favorable because there are more success conditions you could draw into, and focusing your discards around open straights gives you a direction for deck fixing as well. Straights do not wrap around the ace. There is a ceiling and a floor, which means the king, ace, and 2 are the weakest links in the deck. Every other card has 2 sequential neighbors in both directions. 2s and kings have 2 neighbors in one direction, but only 1 in the other because the ace terminates the straight. And poor ace only gets 1 direction at a time to even have neighbors. Say you get rid of all your aces, now 2s and kings become the new floors and ceilings, weakening the queens and the 3s, and so on. When using death or hanged man, I try to focus on trimming the deck from the outside in. This is a pretty basic overview of straight strats. Zano TV has a great video detailing his mindset when going for straights, and he's much better at the game than I am. If that sounds like a lot to keep in mind, imagine doing it without discards. Now, I want to be perfectly clear. If Burnt Joker has no fans, it means I am dead and gone. But man, does he add so much thinking to an already thought-intensive process. The levels he provides can absolutely carry you, especially if you copy him. Doing this with straights is incredibly strong, but can be incredibly stressful. No, the Burnt Joker straights dream is not as good as Blue Seals, but it is very funny. Sometimes on this deck, you'll just get a straight in your opening hand, but sometimes you do not. When that happens, if you want that Burnt Joker trigger, you're spending hands to dig for it. And once you find it, if you don't have a lot of other jokers and straights are your main way of scoring, you're digging for another one.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa!
That's too damn bad!
Ideally, you would pick this up when you don't have to rely on that same hand to score, or at least do it with pair or high cards so you don't have to dump as many hands. If you are committed to the I must find 2 straights per blind to get max value from Burnt Joker route, pick up all the extra hands, discards, and hand size you can. Compared to Burnt Joker, Spaceman is much less reliable, but also far less demanding. He's just a chill guy who hangs out and sometimes makes your life better. Very sometimes. Great use of a Joker slot on this deck if your run is already mostly relying on hands. This is what the painted deck is all about, packing as much value into each Joker slot as possible. Because if most of your score is coming from the hand itself, you can use your jokers for whatever you want. Money, more levels, in-hand effects, whatever value you need most. Now, this is still Balatro. Sometimes you just get scalers and ride the pants bus to victory. And when you start getting eternal jokers, don't even get me started on madness. This counts as packing value into one slot, right? Pair manages to still be incredibly strong, but it is worth noting. Even more standard scalers and X-Molt builds like this are made more precarious. Limited slots meant that chips were a little hard to come by until I got some levels going. In this pants game, I had this eternal brainstorm, definitely wasn't going anywhere, and 2 Molt scalers, so that only left 1 slot for utility or chips. I was fortunate enough to get a foil trading card, which gave me enough time before it expired to get some levels. Once I didn't need chips anymore, it was just a matter of stacking a bunch of X-Molt. That gold stake madness run was cutting it real close at times too. Early on, surprise surprise, chips were kinda sparse. My pairs were only level 3 at ante 4. I decided to take a chance on preserving my stacked green joker by sacrificing the spade dingus, and it worked. But alas, green was not long for this world. I needed to shift gears and play towards money so I could get some seals, extra hands, hell, I'll even take some bonus cards if you got them. I'm dying here. Since my flat molt and times molt are both going to continually scale all game, I decided to just fill my slots with any eternal utility jokers I came across. After heavily considering an ectoplasm, I decided I should focus on what I'm currently struggling with and took the blue seal. One thing about madness that makes me sad though is I had to skip this blueprint. That's like not cool, man. But the run was fine, and you want to know why. Not because of my massive madness. It was because of my rocket money. Rocket money is a financial... No, I'm kidding. Can you imagine? Oh, I yell at video games. That means you should trust this company with your finances. I want to give special attention to red card, I don't like red card. I know, it's a skill issue, I know it's super powerful, and I still hate it. But this deck made me appreciate it more. Nothing in this game is guaranteed. You can go into a run with this hand-focused mindset and then just have to adapt to the fact that you never find the right planet cards or never get your blue seals. Scalers can help prop up your score while you scramble for consistent levels. But you know what you do when you're looking for planets and seals? Open a lot of packs. Saturn gives +3 molt, red card gains +3 molt. You're getting that molt if you hit the Saturn or not, and sometimes both if you hit a mega pack, letting you skip and use. You're gonna want packs a little more often on this deck than you otherwise would. Red card benefits from this and is one of the highest scaling molt jokers, making it a good choice for a slot if your levels aren't carrying you yet. But you kinda have to pick it up when you're already somewhat able to beat the blinds without it. You have to spend money on the Joker and on packs before it does anything, so it can be a slow start if you're not already stabilized. It's incredibly rewarding to make work being a scaler that does not reset, keep this in mind, I'll get to it in a second, and one that scales very quickly. Runner is obviously a good scaler on this deck if you pick it up early enough. If you're in the middle of a straight run and find it when you already have levels in your straights, I wouldn't bother. What's great about an early runner is that it also scales permanently. This is useful if, say, for some reason you wanted to stop playing straights. Yeah, like the checkered deck, this is another one that can have some nasty obelisk pivots, but that is provided the hand you're playing most is not where all of your score is coming from. For example, this run could not pivot into obelisk. If you're mostly getting by on scalers that won't reset, invested some resources into the hand, but haven't really found any blue seals yet, it is absolutely worth it to pick up that obelisk. An early runner can get huge and make up for the lack of other hand levels. Go back in time, juice your shit without worrying about it resetting. Thank me at Ante-9. Honestly, some of the underlying strengths of the checkered deck apply to the painted deck, but they go about it in vastly different ways. The checkered deck makes one particular hand very, very consistent, where the painted deck kinda provides you with the ability to make any given hand more consistent, provided you put the work into drawing it. The painted deck could also be the flush deck too. Just look at, Nope, that is the wrong footage. AJ is getting his own video. I swear. There we go. Nice, good Christian flush run with smeared Joker. I was on my hands and knees begging for that bloodstone, but it never showed up. Probably because I wasn't playing checkered. I'm just gonna rapid fire off some other notable synergies I noticed with the deck. Perkeo, busted as always. Free hand levels even if you can't find Observatory. Tarot Merchant is fantastic on pretty much every deck as well. This one benefits from enhanced cards more, so stock up on gold and steel. A higher hand size means more in-hand triggers as well. Ectoplasm is noteworthy. It makes one of your jokers negative and reduces your hand size, so it basically makes you a regular deck with a +1 hand size if you hit a joker that you intend to keep. It's a little bit clumsy though. You don't really want it early because you don't want it to hit a joker that you might just be holding on to temporarily, and you don't often want it late because you might be really relying on your hand size. It will make Temperance better, both because negative cards are worth a lot and you're able to get a normal amount of jokers. Temperance is normally pretty nerfed on this deck. I want to give a huge shout out to Baseball Card. When your slots are super limited, he's a great way to eke out some scoring from jokers that are providing utility anyway. There are so many uncommon jokers that you might not mind keeping for an entire game on this deck, especially with Baseball Card. Of this list, you got both Shortcut and Four Fingers, Spaceman, Trading Card, Rocket, To the Moon, Mr. Bones, Mary Andy, Showman, and that's just some of them. Buying a baseball card with 3 uncommons gives 1.5 to the third molt, or equivalent to times 3.375. That's more than the Cavenditionals. Please, I want the term Cavenditional to catch on so bad. I also want to give a shout out to Planet Merchant for being awful. Please don't buy this voucher. Maybe it's fine on a run that you're already winning with Constellation Maybe. Otherwise, it is always bait. Don't think of it as find more Saturns, because it ends up being more like find less Taros. In what ways is the painted deck like a carrot? Last time I said the checkered deck was bad for brain development because it softens the need for some important fundamentals, namely picking your hands and discards. Now, this is a skill that people coming from poker will probably already have a very keen intuition for. I am not one of those people. I may be a cool guy with cool decks of cards, but those were for practicing magic tricks at the lunch table. And there was plenty of room for me too, let me tell you. Just like managing your money and knowing what jokers and packs to pick up and win, picking hands and discards during actual blinds is as demanding a fundamental as any other, and can be the difference between claiming that gold stake and not. Balatro may be a game of randomness, but it is not a game of luck. Except when I lose. As the Balatroer, it is yours to take the randomness and get your hands all up in there, using every decision you make to mitigate what RNG throws at you. The black deck emphasizes these decisions by having there be less of them, and gutting your score and money in the early game, with the benefit of more possibilities in the late game. The painted deck is similarly aimed at sharpening these decisions, but in the other way around. Early on, this deck is actually really powerful. You still get all your hand money, and it's easier to form those higher tiered hands that will get you through the earlier blinds. It makes those decisions more powerful while testing them harder. It requires you stabilize more quickly with fewer jokers. Going for scoring jokers is risky because you could run out of steam and fizzle out. Going for econ and utility is risky because you could run out of a different type of steam and fizzle out. It's a steep yet steady curve that tests your hand and deck management more than other decks. In my time grinding out nothing but painted games, I learned to clean up bits of my gameplay that I hadn't really considered sloppy before. I gained an appreciation for hand size and its benefits. I learned how to rely on jokers less, making all of my gameplay more consistent. All in all, I think dedicating time to the painted deck was healthy for my Balatro brain development. But, oh my god, was it an unpleasant experience. Sure, carrots are nutrient dense, they help you see things better, but it's a carrot. It's fine, it's not gross, and it was good for me, but eating nothing but carrots is no way to live your life. I am done with carrots after this video. As mentioned, I don't have any sponsors or anything, so I would like to plug my shit, as the kids say. If you sat through this whole thing, you might like the checkered deck video too. Let me know if there's a certain deck you'd like to see me cover next. I'm looking at you, Zodiac. Also, let me know in the comments if there's any standout interactions I overlooked. I guarantee there will be, because this game is very deep and very awesome. If you like the shows BoJack Horseman or Community, you might also like this video I made comparing them to each other thematically and to the career of Levi Chase. Thank you for sticking with me through the great Balatro drought. I'm back.